What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. It's time for the Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 14. I'm wearing one of my embellished hats by Robin Child. Not really online, it's my own collection. Anywho, let's get into this episode. We started this episode with Robin and Giselle. It is revealed that Robin is about to have a lunch party or some type of a photo shoot for this hat line that we just found out about 2 episodes ago. I mean, it's been this is the 5th season, and I've heard nothing about these hats until 2 episodes ago. Mighty convenient, Robin, but kudos. I will never knock a person with a business, an entrepreneur. So we'll talk about the hats later, but in this particular scene, Giselle is bringing up some mess, child. They have Karen coming, and it seems like that, anytime that you got Robin and Giselle together and someone's meeting them and it's like a 2 versus 1, I think you should be sitting on ready. I'm glad that my girl Karen was, because she got there, she came out beat, looking all good. And I just want to say that, Karen has really elevated herself since season 1. I will say, unlike many of the other girls on this show, she has had the biggest come up visually, and just her look. Like, she just looks really good. I say that because in this scene, they showed a scene from like season 1 where she had the little crinkly hair, and y'all know Karen used to have some bad wigs. Okay, her and Giselle probably had some bad wigs in the past, but now she looks good. So anyway, they sit down with Karen, and Robin announces her line, or lunch party, whatever it's called. And the same thing, Karen brings up about the tax issues, and she brings it up in a very soft way. She's just like, I read this, I don't believe everything I read, but what's going on? So Robin explains, we've heard for 2-3 episodes now, child, she was paying her taxes, but she wasn't paying all her taxes. The story of all of our lives, honey. But anyway, Giselle uses this opportunity to ask Karen about the situation that she was, paying to get her husband out of like this financial issue or burden or whatever. And basically says that Wendy was talking about it. And this is kind of crazy, because if you've seen from the beginning, Wendy and Karen have had a very interesting relationship. Honestly, I love Karen, but since Wendy has came on the scene, it seems like Karen has not really cared for her. I think even in the first episode, she made a comment that she wasn't impressed when they were on the board. So I don't know what's going on there. It's yet to be revealed what that is about. But it's very rare for Karen just not to like you, I will say. So anyway, Karen is on the defense. She's talking about how, she don't recall that happening. And I will say, I remember this scene. This scene happened early in the season. And this is when she was drunk. And, Karen was drunk. Boots. And it was kind of sad to watch. Like, I don't know. I would say if I was sitting in that room with them, I would have took it as like, to see Karen like that and to see her so open about stuff like that, things that she would normally not talk about at all, I would think that something was going on too. So, however, I don't think that the girls were very concerned with that. Like, I can see they came from a place of being concerned, and they were not. Wendy is new, and especially knowing that, Karen don't really care for you like that, and y'all have this weird relationship, I really wouldn't be talking to Giselle about that. But anywho, so instead of just really getting into it, Karen talks about how in the previous episode she was talking to Candace, and Wendy just slithered on down the stairs. Chat. They said she slithered down, and that was actually a very funny moment. Especially to see just them reacting like that. And we'll talk about more of the slither later. Karen's comment about the whole Wendy being a doctor and Monique's issue being medical. First of all, this issue with Monique is not medical. The medical doctor versus PhD thing is just kind of blah. And honestly, it's often said and misconstrued. Most people hear, oh, Dr. this, Dr. Wendy, Dr. Kirkwood, whatever, and they just think of a doctor. But I just don't think that Karen is that slow to where she would confuse the two, because whereas she called Wendy a little ignorant, that was kind of an ignorant statement to make, in my opinion. But I think it was just coming from the fact that Wendy constantly states that she's a doctor. But Monique's issue is not medical, and Wendy's not a medical doctor, so let's just cut that right there. Moving into the next scene, Wendy is, at home with her kids, and with all of Wendy's individual scenes to me are like boring. I love seeing her family, her husband, her kids, but it's either about, her mom and changing careers, or it's about like her being a political person and working in the White House and having degrees. So I would like to see more of her. I think there's more to her. And maybe we'll get to it. But in this scene, she's pretty much talking about how, Karen called her ignorant. And, honestly, I could feel her on that, because it's hard when someone is basically calling you ignorant or stupid or dumb when you have, achieved so much. It's not to say that degrees mean that you're completely smart. But I will say is when you do have multiple degrees, you do have a certain level of intelligence that most people that don't have these things won't know. Now, I'm not an elitist. I am, I obviously I only have 3 degrees, not 4. But I empathize with her because I understand that I've been on social media arguing. Somebody called me stupid. I'm like, hold up, bitch. Oh, I say bitch. I'm like, hold up now. Like, thinking back, like, but I'm not quick to say I got 3 degrees. So I think that's where Wendy is, like, she is mentally, that's always her defense, is that she has these degrees, and really she should just, showcase that she has degrees without saying that she has degrees. But at this point, child, she didn't say she had degrees so many times. This is like, girl, we know. But, I love Dr. Wendy. So I also want to say again, I don't know what's going on between Wendy and, Karen. It's been like that since episode 1. And I don't know. I would love for them to drill into that. I think that is why Wendy's on the show now, because she was feuding with, or is feuding with Karen the whole season. But it seems like Karen's just like blah, and Wendy's more like into it. In the next scene, we have Ashley, Darby, and of course she's going to a follow-up session for therapy or something like that. And we know that she had postpartum. She basically reveals that she doesn't really even sexually look at her husband like that, child. I don't know how she ever did. But anyway, she just, she has postpartum, and so she's dealing with that. And so, with Ashley, I will say this is a completely new woman. The Ashley from the first 3.5, almost 4 seasons, it's just not the same woman now. And I get that. I love to see change, but I'm still not the biggest fan of Ashley, because I know what she's capable of. She has done a lot of things to all these women. And I think that now that she has this baby and she sees things differently, she's a little bit softer. She's not very combative anymore. She speaks her mind, and that's what I've always liked about Ashley. She is never held back. But she doesn't really argue anymore. And I kind of miss arguing. I can't get the word out. I kind of miss Ashley that used to argue, because she, I just miss it. Now she just takes the high road, and she takes the high road and the baby with her, and they just go on to the side. A lot of people are loving Ashley this season, and I feel like it's a this season thing, because I just don't believe that a lot of y'all liked Ashley in the first 3 seasons when she was in everybody's relationship and everybody's financial problem and everybody's business. The same things people do not like Candace for now, in some sense, and not saying she does that, but people don't like Candace for now. I feel like Ashley did it times 50, and she never was hit about anyone when she probably could have been. So yeah, Ashley, she's cool. She's just kind of there with her baby all the time. So, but I like I said, I commend her change. She is different. I think the change that Monique think the girl's supposed to see within 2 weeks is what Ashley represents now. Like, she is a complete new person. And if she came to the group and said, I've changed, I will believe it. I will definitely believe it. Now, Monique, honey, it's going to take more than 2 weeks for the girls to believe that you changed. 2 weeks ain't enough, child. You need maybe another season. Okay? In the final scene, Robin's hat lunch, or her hat photo shoot event, is happening, and all the girls are arriving. All the girls are there. All the girls are models. I like the little mention of Katie. I love Katie. I really enjoyed Katie. And so that girl did look like Katie. I don't know how she was able to say, who is that? Because I feel like if you're on the show, maybe you watch it. But then again, maybe she don't watch the show. But she definitely looked like Katie. I think Katie was prettier. But anyway, all the girls arrive. Ashley arrives with all these boxes and stuff, child. I really thought that Dean was in the box because she don't go nowhere without Dean anyway. But yeah, so she arrives and she announces that the girls are going to Portugal. And that's an interesting place to go. I've never been to Portugal. You know, I am a world traveler, but I've never been to Portugal. And so I'm interested to see what they do on this trip, because a lot of the times when these trips happen on the Housewives shows, I love to watch the cast trips, the big ones, because it gives me places to go. Like, I can see what's there to do visually, and then I want to go back. You know, I did that with a couple things, but a couple places I've been. But anyway, they're going to Portugal, and it's exciting. The photo shoot is nice. I don't really know what to say about Robin's hats. They honestly they're kind of like childish to me, you know, in terms, like, it's just a lot of patterns. And I think they're okay, but I don't know who's gonna buy those other than maybe kids and little girls that are like in middle school, in my opinion. But go off, girl. Go off with those hats. The photo shoot was nice. Everyone looked great. I like the quality of the photos, and everything just looked good. So branding wise, she's on point. And then we get to this situation between Wendy and Karen. Now, it's just so funny that, you know, Robin and Giselle ran back to Wendy so fast. And Giselle is just so messy. I mean, that girl runs back to everything, and she is never, you know, she is never dealt with. I feel like she does it, and then it runs. No one ever addresses her about it. So I'm glad that it seems like she will be addressed about it again, because I love when Giselle is addressed. I love when she's under pressure, because she deserves it a lot more than others. Like, she really is the one that is stirring all this mess with everybody and just sits back and laughs. So anyway, situation between Karen and Wendy. Wendy, like, as I said earlier about the whole doctor thing and stuff like that, I get it. But I don't think that she should have went that hard on Karen. Talking about, you know, I have degrees and you have not one. Because you don't want to, even in situations like, you know, I can think like that. But I don't think what Karen said or whatever was warranted that type of, like, you know, back and forth or banter or conversation with her. Because I just feel like dang, Wendy, like, we know you have 4 degrees. She says she don't brag about it, but honestly, they flash back to maybe 4 times that she said she had 4 degrees. I'm holding up 8, but yeah, 4. So yeah, I don't think that was warranted, Wendy. You know, I support you, girl, because doctor to doctor. But yeah, so I actually like how Karen responded. I think she, you know, when Karen speaks, that is the grande dame. When she speaks, she speaks. And what she said, you know, I sat back, and the more and more Karen, you know, talked, I was in my seat like this, and the more and more she talked, I was back in my seat on my bed like this, like, ooh, Wendy, girl, I don't know, honey. You can talk about not having degrees all you want, but she has made it very clear. She don't have a degree. She don't want a degree. She don't need a degree, and she's doing just fine. And to be honest, that is that on that. I mean, I can't think of the quote. She was just like, you know, it don't cost, and I gotta look it up. I'll post it in this video. But she said that, and I was like, go Karen. And I love the fact that, you know, Karen didn't really go off. She really didn't escalate situation more, because it could have really went left. The whole slithering thing, Lord, when she got up and started talking about slithering into the conversation, because Winnie did really walk down the stairs like that, and she did look like that, and the fact that all of them got in line, it was hilarious. Like, I said, come on, Karen, give us some good TV chat. Come on, slither. We need to all slither. Hopefully everybody slither down to the polls, because hopefully we won this election, we as in the Biden people. So yes, hopefully we all slithered down to the polls within the last month, and we secured this win. But to add to that, Karen, I applaud you on that. I think it was handled well, because I mean, it can be kind of difficult when you maybe don't have a degree and you're battling somebody with a degree that is constantly throwing in your face that they have a degree. But she has it well. She showed that she is still intelligent. Now, Karen, I mean, there is such thing as a medical doctor and, you know, a doctor of philosophy or education. There are many types of doctors. So if you need any type of, you know, education on that or any type of knowledge on that, just hit me up at Stupid Wild Teds or at the Lean Blog, and I got you, Karen, because a medical doctor, and then there's, you know, doctor of philosophy. It's a lot of them, okay? So anyway, and I love the fact that she even still did not give Wendy all of that. She basically said that, you know what, this is not really, this Wendy was just got information wrong. This came from Giselle, so I'm going to deal with her. And it looks like in the next episode, she's going to deal with Giselle, which I am excited for because it's been a while since somebody has dealt with Giselle. It's like, she needs to get it. So with that being said, I'm about to slither on out of this video. And make sure y'all comment, subscribe, like all things The Lean. I will be recapping still the rest of this season, and there is a big surprise coming in the coming weeks. So continue to lean in, continue to tune in, subscribe, do all those things. I'll talk to y'all later, and y'all have a good day. Bye.